You didn't just lose a friend or a partner today. Your brain actually thinks you've been physically assaulted. It sounds like a metaphor, but it is not. When you experience betrayal, your body registers it with the exact same neurological markers as a deep, jagged cut to your skin. This isn't just about feeling sad. This is about biological survival. Let's look at the science. In 2003, researchers at UCLA conducted a landmark study using functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI. They placed participants inside a scanner and asked them to play a digital game of catch called Cyberball. The game was rigged. At a certain point, the other computer-controlled players stopped throwing the ball to the participant. They excluded them. They ostracized them. The scan showed immediate activity in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. That is the exact same region of the brain that processes physical pain. Your brain does not distinguish between a broken heart and a broken bone. Why would evolution do this to us? Why would your biology make you suffer twice? Think back to the Pleistocene era. You are a member of a small hunter-gatherer tribe. Your survival depends entirely on the group. You need them to hunt the mammoth. You need them to guard the fire. You need them to share the shelter. If you are betrayed or ostracized by your tribe, your chances of surviving the night drop to near zero. Nature needed a way to alert you that your social standing was at risk. It needed a warning system that you could not ignore. It chose physical pain. Physical pain is the ultimate attention grabber. You can ignore a headache if you have to, but you cannot ignore a stab wound. By labeling betrayal as physical trauma, your brain forces you to stop what you are doing, focus on the wound, and prioritize your social recovery. But there is a catch. Modern life is not a hunter-gatherer tribe. When you get betrayed in the modern world, a business partner steals your client list, a spouse has an affair, a best friend gossips behind your back, your brain reacts as if your life is literally ending. Your body dumps cortisol into your bloodstream, your heart rate spikes, your blood pressure elevates, your inflammatory response system kicks into high gear. This is the betrayal trauma response. Unlike a physical cut, a betrayal doesn't heal with a bandage. It lingers. It triggers a loop of rumination. You play the scenario back in your head 1,000 times. You search for the moment you missed the red flag. You analyze every text message and every conversation, looking for the glitch in the matrix. This is your brain trying to solve a puzzle that cannot be solved because the damage has already been done. Why do we struggle to move on? It's called the social baseline theory. Proposed by psychologist James Cohen, this theory suggests that the human brain assumes it has access to social resources by default. We are wired to expect proximity, support, and cooperation. When that resource is yanked away, the brain perceives it as an environmental scarcity. It's like being in the middle of a desert without water. Your brain experiences threat hypervigilance. You start seeing shadows where there are none. You become suspicious of new people. You hold back affection. You build walls that are meant to protect you, but they actually keep you in a state of chronic, low-level stress. This state is expensive. It costs your body energy. Chronic betrayal trauma is linked to systemic health issues. Studies have shown that people who endure high levels of relational betrayal are more susceptible to cardiovascular disease, autoimmune disorders, and weakened immune responses. You are literally paying for their betrayal with your physical health. But there is a scientific path to recovery. It begins with social re-regulation. You have to manually override your brain's threat detection system. When you are betrayed, your brain's default state is isolation. It wants to go into a cave. It wants to lick its wounds alone. This is the worst thing you can do. The same fMRI scanners that showed the pain of betrayal also showed that social support acts as a natural analgesic. When subjects who were experiencing social pain were shown pictures of their loved ones or held the hand of a trusted partner, the activity in their anterior cingulate cortex significantly decreased. Social connection is a literal painkiller. It works because it signals to your brain that you are no longer alone in the desert. The tribe is back, the danger has passed. But there is a secondary mechanism that makes betrayal uniquely painful: the breach of the internalized map. We build models of the people we love. We create a map of their character, their habits, and their moral compass. When someone betrays you, that map becomes obsolete in a heartbeat. You are suddenly navigating a landscape you don't recognize. That's why you feel disoriented. You aren't just mourning the person, you are mourning the reality you believed existed. To heal, you have to redraw the map. You have to accept the data update. The betrayal isn't a glitch in your life. It is new, vital information. It is data that forces you to upgrade your model of the world. Think about the game theory of trust. In the famous tit-for-tat strategy, the most successful mathematical approach to cooperation involves two rules: be kind until you are betrayed, and then defect immediately. If you continue to trust someone who has betrayed you, the system breaks. It is evolutionarily unstable. Your brain is actually trying to make you smarter. It is pushing you to recalibrate who earns your proximity. The physical pain you feel, it is the friction of your brain forced to change its perspective. It is uncomfortable because growth is uncomfortable. Consider the broken bone analogy again. When a bone breaks, the body initiates a healing process called callus formation. It is not pretty. It involves inflammation, cell death, and rebuilding. It is the most painful part of the injury, but it is the part that makes the bone stronger than it was before the break. The same is true for your psyche. The people who move past betrayal the fastest are not the ones who suppress the pain or claim they are unaffected. That is impossible. The people who move past it are the ones who accept the pain as a biological necessity. They acknowledge the physical hurt. They stop looking for the why in the past, and they start looking for the how in the future. They understand that they were not victims of a betrayal. They were participants in a high-stakes interaction that failed, and they are now equipped with better data. There is an old physiological experiment called the cold pressor test. Participants put their hands in ice water until the pain becomes unbearable. The study found that people who were told their pain was meaningful, that it was contributing to a scientific discovery, could hold their hands in the ice much longer than those who were not told anything. The betrayal is the ice water. The meaning you assign to it is the only thing that changes the temperature. If you view the betrayal as a sign of your own failure, the water gets colder, the pain becomes sharper. It keeps your brain in a cycle of shame and self-correction. If you view the betrayal as a necessary calibration, a brutal but effective lesson in how the world functions, the water warms up. Your brain treats betrayal like a physical stab wound because it wants to ensure you don't get stabbed in the same way twice. The question isn't how to stop feeling the pain. The question is how to use the pain to sharpen your focus. The scar that forms over a wound is tougher than the skin that was there before. It is less sensitive to pressure. It is less prone to tearing. You are not the same person you were before the betrayal. You are a person who now knows the hidden mechanics of human nature. You have been tested, you have been damaged, and now you are being refined. Don't resent the sting of the wound. Use the data it provided to decide exactly who is allowed to stand near your fire. Because in a world where betrayal is an inevitable part of the landscape, the most dangerous person is not the one who was betrayed. The most dangerous person is the one who was betrayed, healed, and learned to read the map.